let's just talk about your time at Montpellier. I was there for a season, just before you arrived. Actually, I don't know if you've seen my pictures on the walls of greats that are out there. I think we made the final under Fabien Galtier. But look, let's be frank. You've gone to Montpellier. You've had a fantastic career there. A bit of a cult hero amongst the ranks as well. But a lot of players struggle when they go to France, but you seem to be a player that's actually thrived in that environment. Just give us a kind of outline of your time at Montpellier.
I arrived 2016, and as you know, over here in France, it's a tough sort of, good, you'll know as well. It's a tough sort of competition to make. It's tough, it's physical, and a lot of players from Southern Hemisphere tend to struggle a bit, I find anyway. For me, I think being a winger, it's probably not as hard to adapt, I think. And I've just taken my opportunities as they come. Really, I really enjoyed it. We got to the finals at one stage there and lost, but besides the weather and the food down here, I really enjoyed my time here, and I had another year to go. It didn't work out, but just grateful that Leicester come knocking, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think one of the issues that Jim found in Montpellier was the physicality. He just didn't like it when you were down there, Jim? But Nemzi, let's chat about the Leicester move then, because you just mentioned it then. Leicester have come through, and everyone at the club is exceptionally excited to see you play in the Premiership. I'm sure all the Leicester players are excited to see you on a match day. Maybe not so much tackling technique on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, but I can't wait to see people get blasted out of the way when you've got ball in hand. How did the move come about? And did Lottie Takiri, who I believe is your cousin, did he have a little word in Jordan's ear as well to get you to help the process along?
Yeah. So the story was, I was struggling a bit here in Montpellier, and the season just with the way, the direction that they were heading, and we were obviously going, they were going with a lot of young French guys, and they wanted to bring. I think at the time they just brought a few other French guys coming in this season that were wingers, and I just reached out to Lottie, had a conversation with Lottie, and just asked him. I said, "There's any opportunity?" I don't know how Leicester came about, but he said that he'd mentioned he's friends with Geordie Murphy, who he played with down there.
Yeah,
and he just said, "Listen, I'll throw a text and see what happens." And he actually texted him, and then I think Geordie got back to him pretty quickly, and then it just started from there. And then before you know it, I was talking to Geordie, and even then the conversation was, because I still had another year left, it's as you know, it's kind of hard to try and get out of another year, your last year here in France. It's hard to get a release, but I was fortunate enough, and it was just a snowball effect from there, and it all started with a text, and then before I know it, I signed with the Tigers.
And how long have you gone in terms of down the line with looking at properties and stuff like that? Because a little bit of a plug here. I've got a house for sale in Newtown Linford, which is a beautiful village just outside Leicester. that backs onto Bradgate Park. If you want it, mate, I can cut you a deal. Let's chat numbers off air.
No, I just.
That's an offer. You'll give me £1 million. Done. We'll take it.
Yeah. Well, we. I don't know the answer to that question. No, we just. Well, we've got our house here, mate. So we've just tried to sell this one, and then the moving over there is going to be pretty cool, and the weather is probably the only thing that I'm sort of worried about. I don't really get up for when it's raining, so it's going to be tough. But I'm sure I'll sort something out.
Yeah, that'll be a big culture shock for you. But Leicester Tigers, let's be honest, recent years they've struggled, but they've got a history of players that have come from the southern hemisphere. The Tuolangis being one, being about 5 or 6 of them. But Aaron Major's another one. I'm going to miss Scott Hamilton, who played for New Zealand on the wing. I'm going to miss a load of people. Pat Howard from Australia.
Sarah
Rambini, of course, was going to be my final one. The late Sarah Rambini as well. Who these players have been absolutely phenomenal for Leicester. Why was Leicester a club that interested you? And this isn't me going around the fact that they have struggled. They're a huge, the biggest club in the world, arguably, even still with everything that's happened there. But what was it about Leicester that appealed to you?
Well, it all started again, like I said, with Lottie. We had a conversation, and he's probably one guy that's been a mentor of mine throughout most of my career, to be frank. And he just spoke highly of how the club is. He spoke the history, how it's pretty family orientated, and they breed rugby down there. But not only that, growing up in the Southern Hemisphere, Leicester were one of those clubs that you'd always hear about, so that in itself interested me. And then I got on the phone to Geordie, and he spoke about the direction they're trying to head to, and look, they're struggling at the moment. I think they haven't done too well the last few seasons, but with what he was saying, and the direction like the direction they're heading, it was really appealing, and great opportunity for me to get over there. And I'm not 22, I'm 32. I'm going over there, probably sort of the other side of my career, but it's exciting. It's a challenge for me, and that's it's probably a good thing, I guess, going over there now, and just with the challenge that lays ahead. I think that's what really appealed to me, and I went over there and checked it out. Checked out the setup, and they've got they've got a nice stadium there in Welford Road, and it's a pretty big stadium. And I found out that they're one of the clubs that get 20,000 through the gate every now and again. So and then also too, it reminded me of a club that I used to play for down in New Zealand. It's similar sort of characteristics that they had, and it was a no-brainer when they were keen to sign me.